Ladies and gentlemen, 4 trips to UAE in 15 days and a police escort. This sums up the smuggling trail of Kannada actor Ranya Rao, who was caught in Bengaluru carrying 14.8 kgs of foreign origin gold bars worth over 12 crore rupees as she strutted across the Kempegowda International Airport. She has now been arrested after she was frisked because of being under surveillance due to her frequent visits to Dubai. 4 visits in 15 days, 10 in 2 months. Her modus operandi, according to officials, concealing gold bars, but flaunting and wearing gold to deflect attention. To make matters worse, she is not just an actor arrested for smuggling of gold, but is also the stepdaughter of a serving top IPS officer in Karnataka. And the probe also now involves the security cover of police personnel used by her to evade customs, checks and security. The actress wore the same outfit every time she travelled from Dubai. The dress had a modified jacket and belt which helped her conceal the smuggled gold. And this time, the gold bars were attached to her belt.
In DRI, they're investigating the case. Until and unless they come out with definite information, I won't be able to react to it. But yes, they are investigating. Let them complete their investigation. DRI is a central agency. If it was our police, then we would have known a lot of information.
There are reports that she misused the protocol also, sir?
That's what I'm saying. So all this has to be found out, and then I can come and react.
Sir, have you asked any report from your DGP on this entire episode?
Yeah, we did discuss, and until and unless that DRI completes the investigation, we cannot investigate again.
We are right now outside the residence of Ranya Rao, where she lived on rent, which costed around 4.5 lakh per month. And this is the mansion where she lived on the 3rd floor. Clearly, officials of DRI intercepted and arrested her at Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru for smuggling 14.8 kg gold worth rupees 12 crore. Also, for the information that she has been frequently visiting Dubai and have been involved into this smuggling. Also, the officials have seized around 2 crore worth jewelry and cash amounting to 2.6 crore. So clearly now officials are also investigating as to which network did Ranya Rao worked for. This has also shook the entire Kannada film industry. And as you see on the Lavish road, we are right outside the apartment where she lived, which costed 4.5 lakh per month. So clearly raising many questions as to why there were so many visits to Dubai and which network did she actually work for. Right now the investigations are on.
Well, I'm being joined by PK Jain at this point, who is a senior retired IPS officer, as well as Kasthuri Shankar, who's an actor. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me. Kasthuri Shankar, first to you. How is the fraternity looking at this? Is this shock waves? Because it's not the first time. I mean, of course, the scale and the manner in which this has unfolded is shocking. But, you know, there are always concerns and questions about accountability, about nexus, whether it be to smuggling or drugs. But how is the fraternity looking at all of this at this point?
I think I cannot speak for the entire film industry, especially the Kannada industry, because, you know, we also, to a degree, are onlookers as the story unfolds. But generally speaking, everybody is quite mortified that somebody being identified as an actor is in the news for all the wrong reasons. To tell you the truth, I've never heard of Ranya Rao before today. Perhaps she is well known in Karnataka. I have not come across her work before. But all the news is, popular actress arrested for smuggling gold. Now, that is a problem because it stereotypes everybody in the film industry, and we have had our fair share of controversies before, so this adds to the burden of having to, we end up having to explain to people that the industry is huge, and out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, there is one bad apple somewhere, which possibly could have been using a quickly earned popularity in order to continue their underhand activities. We don't know that. I mean, she seems to be more identifiable.
Right.
More shocking is the fact that she is actually a close relative of a high-ranking police official. So looks like she has really thrown in all her cards in the wrong direction. It's very unfortunate.
In fact, let me just get in PK Jain, Miss Kasthuri, at this point. PK Jain, here's the angle where I want you to look into. I mean, she's not just an actor. She's not just a person with a celebrity status, as it were, but she's also a stepdaughter of a top serving police officer in Karnataka. And what's also worrying is the security cover that was used by her, possibly to be able to evade the security checks also that were supposed to happen. How do you look at this?
Namaskar, Sneha ji. Thank you very much for having me here on this show. Well, it is unfortunate that the person who has been brought up in a household which enforces the law indulges into activities like this. It does happen. It's her being an actor and getting stereotyped is the same thing as happens to police officers very often. That when a policeman does a bad thing or illegal thing, immediately the entire community is blamed. So I'm not going into that kind of a controversy. But yes, the security protocol is taken by the officers and their family members whenever some facilitation has to be done at the airport. And this is not exclusive to the police department. It happens to revenue, it happens to ministers, it happens to custom officials, it happens to revenue officials, it happens to everybody who can use that cover so that they don't have to go and stand in the queue, and they are escorted out or taken into, checked in easily. So there's a dedicated protocol team at the airport all over the country. At every airport and every railway station, you will find that there's a protocol team. So now her using this team to smuggle gold is very, very unfortunate. And ultimately, she has got the long end of the law. And she'll face the consequences for that. I mean, it's very unfortunate, as I say. A person from the house of a senior officer who is supposed to uphold and enforce the law, if something is done by the family members of that particular person, it is a little serious because apparently she's not got the right type of guidance from her father, the way the things are. It's a lure of making quick money that has landed up into this, yes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we, have to drag the family in. We don't know the role as such. I'm sure that's going to be also under scrutiny because at the end of the day, he's a top police officer, serving police officer for that matter. But PK Jain, a larger question, before I go back to Kasthuri again. PK Jain, what is the modus operandi? Like, I mean, Dubai is a hotspot. You have states in India that are also seen as hotspots or destinations to get in these smuggled gold for that matter. Now, just look at the modus operandi. She was concealing bars worth crores in her clothes on her body while flaunting gold quite openly. I mean, it was a very discreet way of concealing it all. How common or uncommon is this modus operandi, as well as PK Jain? Help us understand. When we talk about little over 14 kgs of gold bar, what does this really mean? Is this extremely unusual? Is this very usual in terms of the quantity of smuggled gold often found?
No, it is not a question of this kind of a quantity found on a person's body. See, 14 kilos is quite a weight. So one has to have very specially formulated jackets in which the gold biscuits or gold chocolates are slid into, and then it is carried. In this case, it seems like the chocolates, as they call them. It's a 1 kilo bar. So the chocolates are very carefully concealed into a belt, and that belt is tied around your waist and around your hips, or maybe around the a little under the hips, and then you put on a little loose clothes over that, so the entire thing is concealed. Now it is very difficult. In fact, it is impossible to get through to the metal detectors at the airports. Therefore, to ward off that, she is wearing gold on her person, showing that she was wearing this person. So if at all there's a alarm to the effect that she is carrying gold or she is carrying something metallic, so that the
I
ostensible
see.
display of
Okay.
jewelry covers that, so she can pass. And now, in my case also, I keep traveling here and there. Now, every time I come, I have to pass through that metal detector. Then my baggage is scanned. Now, the baggage is scanned at two places. Where it's on the belt itself. There's a scanner, and the second one is when it is scanned through the customs. This thing, the custom offices are available at the first scanner as well as at the second scanner. You must have realized that at many places the boxes there's a cross put on the box on the bag, and that bag is either checked or it has been checked or it will be checked. I mean, there are special markings for that. Now, so the second checking is at the conveyor belt at the customs counter. So there the bag is checked, but the person is not. The person only goes through the metal detector. And if you are wearing ostensible amount of jewelry on your person, then the underlying gold that you are carrying on your person in a jacket or in a belt is concealed. In this case, apparently her movements had been too frequent. Number one, number two, as you just now mentioned, that she was wearing the same clothes, and so it probably rang the bell somewhere, and she was eventually caught. I mean, she has. If you ask me honestly, she may have gone through 2, 3, 4 times, and that emboldened her, and that is what led to her being intercepted there.
Okay. Before I go to Kasthuri, very quick question to you, and then I want to ask the same question to Kasthuri Shankar. Both of you spoke about how, there are people who have privileges of not going through the security checks and all. You spoke about how you are checked and you go through the checking process. You are a former top cop. Aren't you exempted? Aren't you among those people who should be exempted? If we are looking at an actor such as Ranya who can be exempted, shouldn't you be I mean, you may choose to or not to, but legally, according to rules, are you allowed to be exempted?
Nobody is exempted. It's only that if you're carrying something, you might as well inform the custom officials in advance that yes, you are carrying something beyond your permissible amount of imported goods, and then somebody may turn a blind eye to that.
Was it also a policing lapse? Was it also a customs policing
No.
security lapse? Why I'm asking you that is because apparently in this case, she had a security cover that she in the past has used to evade the security checks. So if that's the case, is that also a lapse on the part of the security?
See, what happens generally if you have a security personnel looking after you and accompanying you outside, so that security check is diluted to some extent. In Mumbai, at the Mumbai airport, you just do not get past. You've seen a number of actors and actresses being intercepted at the airport by the customs for having brought in imported very expensive either jewelry or watches or phones or whatever they have. So Mumbai is a little different ball game, but Karnataka, maybe Bangalore, that mindset of giving a little leeway to the officers or their family members traveling is given a little more. So in this case, if a security personnel was accompanying her, they probably presumed that she is the daughter of a high-ranking officer, so let her pass through. And there was nothing in her baggage. So a person is hardly ever frisked. As I said, she was intercepted because the trips were far too frequent, and the kind of clothing that she was wearing, or maybe some other mannerism. Yeah, so that rang the bell for her. Otherwise, probably she would have continued for a few more trips in a similar manner.
Right. Kasthuri Shankar, two questions to you. I mean, I just want to take this VIP angle as well. You are an actor yourself. You strut across airports and destinations as well. Just checking, do you come across instances where you get exempted from being checked or frisked or whatever in that case? I mean, how common is that, a VIP culture at, say, an airport or somewhere, at least in the places where you're familiar? Is that normal?
In my life so far, and in my professional as well as personal capacity, I have traveled a lot. And I have even traveled as the official invitee of national governments. And no, Never have I been exempt. And not even just me, I have seen very famous stars far bigger than I. None of us, big filmmakers, we have been part of contingents, film contingents representing our country in big festivals. Nobody has been exempt. So I don't know where you get your
That's
information
interesting,
about
because then that
VIP
also
exemption.
raises questions about how
there
the
are
security
legends.
system also
There are
functions. Though in this
legends.
case,
Let me
they
finish.
actually cracked
There are
the case for that
legends
matter.
of cops.
Yes, please.
No, I have seen, I'll tell you where I have seen some leeway. I have seen it at Tirupati temple, where a top cop was able to walk into the darshan, and we were all waiting to get, checked by the metal detector. So save that. In airports, I have not seen it even for cops. I have just not seen it, so I don't know. Unless you have an inside somebody helping you, I don't know how she was able to go through all these times. I want to finish with a story. Rajinikanth's latest movie, it was called Jailer, and it's the story of Mr. Rajinikanth's character. He's the jailer, and he's so upright and honest, and he's cracking down on a criminal ring. And turns out that his son, who is also a cop, is the actual mastermind behind the entire thing. And in the end, the movie ends with Rajinikanth killing his own son because he broke the law. So we see movies like that. Today we are seeing
Kasthuri, while you're giving us that storyline, I just hope that, in this case, there will not be any killing or law being taken into their hand. We believe that law will take its course. And of course, the police is also probing right now to see what the role of this Ranya was and the cop.
Reality will follow movies in upholding the law.
That's interesting. Last question to you, Kasthuri, maybe 30-40 seconds.
Let it not be a media trial. Nobody is guilty until proved, until their conviction. Nobody is guilty until proved. So let it not be a media trial, but let it also not be a trial where there is some kind of VIP exemption.
True. While you're talking about media trial, that was actually my question. I'm running out of time, but 30 seconds to you, Kasthuri Shankar. When we are okay, I think, all right. Thank you very much to our panelists, PK Jain, as well as Kasthuri Shankar. Thank you very much for joining us. It's time for a very short break.